March 29th, 2018. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 150 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Now, on the last episode...
Wait, Mark. How was your day? That's what I want to know first. The first thing I want to know is, how was your day?
My day was the worst day that I have ever experienced. We went up to Harrah's because you were not feeling well, so you took off work.
I worked a little and then came home.
We went up there. And this guy buys in the middle of a hand. And
good hand.
And you say, oh, no. And he puts down $100. He says, give me a $15 nine. That's all he wanted, right? And you said, oh, no. And then he makes a come bet. Sure enough, 7 out. And then the come bet gets paid. And he picks up his, but he leaves, the original $10 out there on the come bet. And the guy next to him had $10 in the come. He tried to pick all of them up. And the guy said, no, that's mine. I said, it's the come out roll now. You shouldn't have any money in the come. And he said, oh, it is? Oh, was that a 7? And I'm thinking, yeah, it was a 7 because you bought in the middle of the roll and you got paid on the come.
And you lost your $15 nine. We were in the middle of a really good roll. I mean, a really good roll.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rethink this whole buying in the middle of a hand. I think it does make the 7 come up more. Yeah. I guess I better start keeping track.
That guy was such a... oh, God. Ruined our day.
It did ruin our day. That's true.
It ruined my day so bad. I have barely energy to talk right now.
I know. You came in through my door. You said, oh, my God, I'm exhausted. It's like, what?
I'm exhausted. The mental energy it took for me to cuss him out for hours after he had left. I was
the whole drive home.
Yeah. I mean, and it takes a lot of brain power to inside of you just hold all that in there and think, $15 nine. That's what you needed so bad. A $15 nine.
All right, well, let's calm down a little bit. I'm going to take a breath. Podcast time. So on our last episode, we got a call from Tim Lawson over at the Better Life podcast. He was surprised when he was in an Iowa casino playing blackjack, and after a shuffle, the dealer burnt the first card, which they usually do, and they didn't show the card to everybody at the table. They wouldn't even show the card when Tim asked her to. She said, no, that's policy. And he said, well, am I dreaming? Is this policy? We laughed and said, oh, Tim, silly Tim, of course they never show the card. That is policy. Any casino in the world you go to, they burn the card and they don't show you. That's the whole point of it. Well, as soon as we posted the podcast, the wrath of the internet came crashing down upon us. Actually, I think it was just a couple of listeners wrote to us and said, I've seen them actually show the card. And it seemed like it was very consistently Midwest and eastward. Okay. So the East Coast casino like Atlantic City and some of the places, maybe they don't show it, but they will show it if you ask.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just the standard to show it.
So they don't just automatically, here's the burn card, it's a 6.
Right. But they will show if you ask, unless it's a dealer change. You know how they also burn a card on the dealer change? They said that in that case, they won't show the card. Now, why it's different, I don't know. But
so wait a minute. Now, you're getting this from a couple of listeners?
A lot of listeners. Eric Rosenthal was, I think, one of the first ones to even mention. I said, hey, yeah, I've seen it. So,
we've never seen that.
We've never seen it. But again, think of most of the places where we've played blackjack. It's been here on the West Coast. Or including Las Vegas. Right.
So, I don't think we played any when we were in Atlantic City.
I'm trying to remember if we did play blackjack. I certainly didn't notice. I wouldn't even have thought of it.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I played blackjack in Wiesbaden, Germany.
Well, think about it, though. Let's say you had played some blackjack in Atlantic City or when you were in Maryland, and they burned the card. Now, they don't automatically show it, but if they burned it, you wouldn't even think to ask, based on our experiences.
Based on our experience,
So it sounds like it does. And it's funny because we were talking on the last episode about how it's sort of to thwart card counters, but really I think the point of it is just in case that first card has been exposed somehow, and then maybe somebody at first base can bet accordingly, kind of like how they burn cards before the flop, the turn in the river in Hold'em.
Right.
That's the only reason they do it. I mean, it's just in case somebody saw the card, right? So
so where did Tim see it at?
In Iowa. I remember he was in a casino in Iowa. Yeah.
So this is gonna be east of the Mississippi roll.
I guess, except remember now in Iowa, they would not show it to him.
Yeah,
right?
well, Mississippi runs down that way. He might have been on the west side of the Mississippi.
It could have been.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
he should have checked his GPS. I am so tired.
Really?
I don't know that I'm going to be able to go on anymore.
All right, well, let's move on.
All right.
And see if we can get through this as quick. It's going to be a long show, I'll just tell you right now.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying.
This last weekend, our good friend Dave put on his sort of semi-irregular poker tournament. He tries to do maybe 2 a year.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's right around Super Bowl time, sometimes in September. Anyway, it was this last week. And it was a great tournament, as always. In fact, I even periscoped a little bit of it. Boy, I'll tell you, I was card dead. I was not getting cards. I was telling you later, the best hand I got the whole night was a pair of 9s.
Wow.
Anytime I got an ace, it was ace rag. Maybe I had like king, queen, and king, jack once. And I ended up raising before the flop and everybody folded to me.
Right.
But I still made it to the final table.
Right.
Mike, I never showed my cards till the very last hand when I was all in. Nobody ever saw my cards.
Nobody ever saw a hand of yours.
No. Yeah. And it was the only time I was all in all night. Yeah. So I guess I'm, happy that I made it that far. I was outside the money. There were only 3 tables to start, and I went out like in 7th place, something like that.
Yeah, if you had known that, though, you could have just went all in on the first hand of the night, folded, gone to Harris.
I could have, but you wouldn't have been there. Oh, hey, a lot of people at the tournament said, hey, where's Mike? You did not attend. What was your excuse?
Well, I had to work.
You had to work.
Yeah, because I had missed a day of work and I was making up time. And then they put some more people in. And it got later and later.
They put some more people in.
Yeah.
Now, who's the boss in your office?
Them.
I'll tell you got a lot of grief.
Yeah.
Because the tournament started at 5:30.
I know. Mary texted me during the tournament. Everyone's saying, where are you? Well, I'm at work. Okay.
Yeah, but you knew way ahead of time this tournament was coming.
Well, I signed up for it to go.
I know. He actually had a spot on a table for you. He said, oh, is Mike coming?
Yeah.
There was a spot there. You were on.
I had every intention of coming until it just got out of hand. Then it turned out, it turned out I didn't get out of work until like 7:30. The tournament started at 5:30. I thought, well, I'm not going now.
Okay, but there were patients who were coming in late in the day.
You're late in the day.
That surely you could have turned away or said, hey, come in Monday morning.
I guess, except, both of them were emergencies. So I don't know. I mean, I should have explained it to I should have explained it to him. No, there's a poker tournament. We have ERs, right? You just go to the ER.
Well, all right. I'm going to talk a little more poker right here. We have a poker game that has been going on for about 20 years. And we've had a lot of different people come and go. Some have actually died. We've had, like your father-in-law, Paul's dad. They've actually passed away.
Right.
One is basically too elderly to play. And then we've had people come and go for other reasons, family reasons or commitments.
Right. It's usually family that gets in the way.
Yeah. And we've gotten to the point now, we have another participant who is actually moving away. We've gotten to the point now where we can't have a regular game.
Yeah.
We only have a core group of 6 players. And if everybody can make it, that's great. We can have a game of 6.
Right. 1 or 2 don't make it, and there's no game.
That's right. Now, Mike,
Yeah.
You didn't go to Dave's poker tournament. You got a lot of grief for that.
Right.
Why aren't you coming to the weekly poker game?
You know the answer to that.
What?
I go to Harrah's.
Hey, you were bowling once a week for a long time.
Yeah,
You're not bowling anymore?
Well, no, I'm going to start bowling again.
All right. I'm just putting it out there for all the listeners. If this poker game, over 20 years, and now that I'm thinking of it, it's really closer to 30 now.
Yeah.
Right? If this dies, it's squarely on your shoulders.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Let me ask you this.
All right, sir.
Besides you, who has it at your house,
Yeah.
who has attended the second most amounts in all the years of this poker game?
Paul.
Okay, and third?
You knew the answer was
I know
Paul.
it's Paul.
Okay.
A third?
Third, probably you. I'd have to go, but if I had to guess,
me.
it would be you.
And Paul and I'd probably be close because he hasn't gone for a while, and I played a little after he
little
quit.
bit, yeah.
So it's probably close between the two of us. But it's me, you, and Paul was the core group for years.
From the original, yeah. That was all that's left.
So I think I put in my time.
All right.
And I'm so tired right now. I just don't know that I can play poker anymore.
Yeah, listener Terry was asking us about a Pai Gow poker game that he heard about where the dealer sets their hand with all the cards face up before the players set their hands. All the cards face up.
Right.
So in other words, as a player, you get to see exactly what the dealer's going to play.
And they set their hands. So you know if they're going to play 2-pair or pair.
Right. They set their hands based on a house rule, the casino's house way. They set their hands ahead of time. And he was asking, Is this true? Yes, it is true. It is at some select casinos right now. I believe they have it at New York, and Las Vegas. He had heard about it being dealt at Reno, but it is a game. It's called Face Up Pai Gow Poker. Huh. And of course, knowing what the dealer is going to play is a huge advantage for the player.
Right.
And in fact, there's not even any commission on the game. That's another thing, right? No commission. So there's got to be a catch. Here's the catch. If the best 5-card hand the dealer can make is ace high, every hand is a push.
Okay.
So
you could have a monster. You could have a flush with a pair of aces on top. Mm-hmm. You push.
You push if the dealer can only play ace high in the back. And my understanding is exactly ace high. So if the dealer's playing king high, that's not a push situation. Then you'd actually play it. It's only if the dealer has to play ace high as the 5-card hand. And everybody's a push. Even if you had king high in that case, you'd be glad.
Right.
Because
you'd be happy.
The dealer would have beaten you otherwise. So that's the way that works. So that's the catch. So it is a pretty big catch. Because, ace high, think about how often you get ace high in hand. It happens fairly often.
Yeah. So what's the house advantage on that?
So the company who came up with it had a figure of about 1.6% house edge, which is not bad.
Not bad. Not for a carnival game.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Do you think, though, that this would be any fun to play? Or would it be as fun as Pai Gow Poker? Because you don't have to think about how you're going to set your hand. You just look, and every time it's almost like it's set for you.
Right. Yeah, you could just tell, set my hand, whatever. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean,
set my hands,
it's
right?
It's true, right? Whatever will give you the best outcome.
Right. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
It wouldn't be fun for me.
We'd have to try it. If we ever do see it, we should definitely try it and see.
Yeah, I just don't think it'd be fun for me because I like the excitement of setting my hand and waiting to see what the dealer, and sometimes waiting to see how they play it.
Right. Especially if you had a dilemma.
Right.
Like it was a real close call and you didn't have some cheat sheet in front of you.
Right.
Oh, I hope I made the right move. And then, when the dealer turns over that, if I'd gone the other way.
It basically comes down to those when to play 2 pair behind.
Oh, that definitely would be that's when to split the 2 pairs.
When to split the 2 pairs. I mean, every other hand, it kind of sets itself. Right?
It's true, although maybe the dealer ends up with a straight and garbage in the 2-card hand.
Right.
That may change the way you set your hand. Like, what's the garbage?
Right.
Right. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should play this a little bit different. My garbage is a little better.
Yeah, well,
it could come up. But no, you're right. Pair is going to be the most common.
Pair is going to be the most common. Yeah. I don't know that we'd have that much fun playing it. And I don't know that it's that interesting a game.
Well, that's what I'm saying is one of the appeals, as far as I'm concerned, of Pai Gow Poker is that there's some decision making. Right. And there isn't a basic strategy that's easy to memorize or even accurate because every casino may have a different house way.
Yeah, their house ways. I mean, isn't it funny? Casinos can come up with a house way for Pai Gow. Everything else in the casino, they have no clue about, right? Everything else, I don't know. What's the rule on? Well, I don't know. Let's go ask somebody. But they got house rules for Pai Gow.
Do you have any examples? Because I mean, the house rules for Pai Gow, they came up with. But here, I'll just jump on that and say they may have some house rules, but there are plenty of dealers dealing Pai Gow who don't have those house rules memorized exactly,
right? And may not follow even if they do have it.
That's right. And sometimes they have to ask the pit. And I told a story a while back on an episode where I actually corrected a dealer. Hey, I don't think that's your house way.
Right. Well, it's funny because it's a pretty complicated thing, really.
It can be. I think what they try to do is they try to make a house way relatively simple, not terribly complicated, maybe giving up some of the edge. Okay. Because they're always going to have that 5% edge on commission games.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if they're giving up, a half a percent, based on some rule here or there. I think they want to make it as simple as possible so the dealers are consistent.
Yeah. Well, foul every time then. It's foul.
As a player or
as a dealer?
As a dealer, just
foul. Sorry.
Foul. Got to call the pit over again. Yeah, sorry, I fouled my hand again. Just reset it. What? That's foul.
Yeah, foul.
We got to, let's tell this story about Clayton. I think it was Clayton. We have a friend, Clayton. We haven't actually seen him in years.
Yeah, and he's not Clayton anymore, but go on.
But we used to, he would play cards with us every once in a while, and he was kind of an odd bird. And once we were playing Pai Gow Poker, and he set his hand. I think you or Paul was being the dealer, and all of us were setting our hands. And so he set his hand. He put it upside down how you would the 5-card hand and the 2-card hand.
And there's no rush in this. I mean, we're at card night, so it's like take your time.
Oh yeah, no rush at all. Yeah. No rush at all. So finally, you set your hand, or Paul does, whoever, and whoever's the dealer starts turning over people's hands to see if he won or lost.
Right.
And he moves towards Clayton, and we haven't seen Clayton's cards yet. They haven't been turned over yet. And Clayton says, "Oh, I fouled." What? Well, then why? Well, change the hand's still down. Why'd you change? Oh, I fouled.
Yeah,
kind of like
he announced it like I fouled. Well, if you knew you fouled, why'd you foul?
It's kind of like he's waiting. Okay, player one's getting taken care of. Oh, I fouled. When he gets to me, I'm going to tell him I fouled. Okay, player two's getting taken care of. I got to remember when he gets to me, I got to say I fouled.
The most honest guy in the world. Oh my God, I fouled. Sitting there, God, I hope it's an earthquake. I hope there's an earthquake. There's got to be something.
I fouled. I don't want to. I'm going to be so embarrassed. Please be that earthquake. All right. Another listener Bill, wrote to us. He has some questions about hosts.
Okay.
He said, how do you use your Vegas casino hosts? Any general tips or recommendations for players on how to use / benefit from casino hosts? Any specific tips / recommendations for working with casino hosts at Total Rewards properties? So let's talk about hosts for a little bit. It's funny because we don't use our hosts that often.
No.
But when we do, it's usually for arrangements for a trip.
Right. Which are very helpful in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they're going to take care of airfare for us, if we've got a trip coming up that takes care of airfare. And
actually, any kind of arrangements, like even at Harrison, California, they have concerts every once in a while. And you have to actually alert them that you want to go to the concert. And if you do, they'll arrange tickets for you and stuff. So you don't have to call in and make phone calls.
Right. You have to go through that. Or even just getting a hotel room for the night.
Right. Yeah.
You just, hey, I'm going to need a room on Saturday. So you don't have to call in and go through the
whole reservation thing. Yeah. The host will do all that for you. That is a nice thing.
Yes.
I do like that.
Yeah. Now, I think in most cases, you will only get a host if you reach a certain tier level with a company. You can always...
Total Rewards, I think Diamonds
and higher, sure. If you don't have a host because you're not at that tier level, you can always ask to speak to a host.
Yeah, there's always a host on charge in almost every casino.
And in fact, this is when Bill sent his email originally, he said on his last trip, what he did is at the end of the trip, he asked to speak to a host and says, hey, can you comp any of the charges that I've made during this trip?
Yeah, and that goes for, let's say, you stayed at Bellagio and first time you ever use that property or something, you have no host. At the end, it is always a good idea to ask to speak to a host.
Yes.
And say, based on my play, is there anything you can do for me? Because it may be a room. It might be like your meal that you ate there. They might say, oh yeah, we'll comp that meal or something. They're always going to give you something. You ask at the checkout or check-in counter, that's not going to happen.
Or they'd say, oh, well, I'll have to call a host for you.
Right.
And we want to emphasize, do this regardless of what your tier level is.
Right.
Because a host will always speak to you.
Right.
And maybe they won't be able to do much for you, or maybe they'll say, we can take $20 off the bill. It's something.
It's customer service. And if you directly have the host right in front of you, there is some pressure a little bit.
A little bit more, sure, face to face.
Yeah, keep that customer a little happy. Give them a free meal. Oh, we'll comp your meal at the cafe. Something like that. On the phone...
On the phone,
he
it's
just
a little
tell the
tougher,
lady at the no, can't do anything for him, because then they don't have to look at you and say that. The lady at the counter has to look at you and say, no, they said they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
So seriously, if you face to face, they'll do something usually.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't play.
Right. Or say,
well, we don't have you playing anything.
I don't even see you listed as a hotel guest.
When did you get here?
So that's at the end of the trip. Ahead of time, again, like we said, for making reservations, for making airfare, hotel reservations, that kind of thing, they can do that. Now, hosts, as far as their competency goes,
that's
can
a different
vary
story.
quite a bit.
Right.
We've had some hosts where, oh my gosh, why did I let this person make these arrangements for me? They're wrong.
Yeah, my brother has
hey,
some,
where's my ride?
My brother has some nightmare stories about hosts who set stuff up for him, and then it's all screwed up when he gets there and stuff.
So if that happens, then ask for another host. They should accommodate you, especially if you're giving some play to them.
And by the same token, some of them are great. My current host at Harrah's in Las Vegas, Kelly, is wonderful.
Mine too. My Vegas host, his name's James. He's great.
Yeah. They get everything perfect. She calls me if she even has any question about anything. She'll just call, I have a question for you. She doesn't just assume or anything. I love that.
Yeah.
She's a great host.
Sometimes it's just a crapshoot, so to speak, as far as how good your host is going to be. But if you catch a good one, latch onto them, make sure they don't go away. They'll do a lot for you.
I think everybody should seriously take that into consideration if you're on a trip, even if you're a low roller, talk to the host. And sometimes, they want to get people back. That's their job.
Yes.
Really.
Right.
So even if they're not your host, they want to, this would be nice if this guy came back the next time he's going to vacation. We made some money on him. So they'll do stuff for you.
Yeah. Now, as far as specifically for Total Rewards, we can't really speak to that. We spend so much time in Total Rewards that those are really the only hosts we deal with.
Right.
Now, there is a host that we have been dealing with for our upcoming trip to GamblePalooza out of Foxwoods, and he's been very good as well.
Yeah.
Ed Rosenthal set us up with him, and he's been, very good, and he's got arrangements set up for us. So it's good. But, how Total Reward, what did I say, Ed Rosenthal?
Yeah.
I keep thinking of Ed O'Connor and Eric Rosenthal, and I mix them. I just see that E there.
Yeah.
All right. So if I ever say Ed Rosenthal again or Eric O'Connor, it could be either one.
All right.
It could be either
we'll
one.
take into consideration Mark Duvall.
All right. So, but I was going to say, Total Rewards, I don't know how they would be any real different from any other property as far as what host could do for you.
Probably not that much different.
Yeah.
But it's a good question, and it's something that probably people don't take advantage of.
No,
but they
that's
should.
true. Yes. Everybody should. Everybody should.
Right.
And, maybe you can combine, hey, I was here with my family. Can you look at all of the combined play?
Right.
I said, okay, yeah, we'll take $10 off your bill. Hey, it might not be much, but it's something.
At Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, they actually have a host room, a room where there's always a host on call.
Oh, uh-huh.
It's over there kind of by the cage.
And you can just walk in?
You can just walk right in.
Great.
And, they just, oh, what can I do for you?
Yeah, that's
so
good.
That's great. Some places don't have that. They actually have to call, and a host will have to come to you because there's not a specific room to go to.
Yeah.
But that at Caesar's, that's really nice. Because, it's right, and it's right next to the cashier.
Yeah,
so you go to cash
convenient.
out.
Yeah, good. All right, one little quick news item before we get to the phone calls. So listener Trevor, he actually just let us know this today. We've been talking about how the fire bet has been disappearing from Las Vegas.
Right.
And really from the Strip, that it's completely gone. He said that at the Margaritaville casino, which is part of Flamingo, it's kind of off to the side there,
right.
Their craps table still has a fire bet. So if you're looking for that on the Strip, there you go.
And I meant to tell you that today. They were talking about that at the craps table at Harris.
They were?
Yeah, on the other side of the table.
That's so weird because I heard out of the corner of my ear Margaritaville, and I'm thinking, they can't be talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
wow.
They were talking about fire bet at Margaritaville, and I heard that, and I meant to say something to you, and I was still fuming, cussing that guy out for that buy-in, and I completely forgot. But that's what they were. I was closer to that end. Yeah. That's what they were talking about because the guy was saying, "Oh, it's disappeared." He's like, "No, right. Margaritaville still has it."
All right, so it must be true at least as of a few days ago. So,
right. Yeah.
So get it while it's good. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to our voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Chris.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, this is Kristin Teller, Texas. I'm calling you with the trip report from Shreveport and Biloxi. I'm going to break this into two parts since it's a little long. So the first part is going to be the Shreveport part. Well, my birthday was on March 14th, so we were going to do a family trip to Biloxi and tie it into a gambling trip. My father-in-law was meeting us there in Biloxi. On Tuesday after work, we drove out to Shreveport. I had a comp room for the night and told them we would be getting in late since the drive from Keller to Shreveport takes about 3.5 hours or more, so I knew we would be getting there after 9 p.m. So we get to Margaritaville in Shreveport, and we bring all the luggage to check-in. The lady at the counter informs me that since we arrived after 8 p.m., they canceled our reservation, and since they have no rooms available, I'm just out of luck. I was real mad. The manager was rude and only wanted to get rid of us. I told her that we had a late check-in, and she said she had no record of that. I was so mad since this is a property I've stayed at several times and gambled at a ton. We tell everyone we love this place, and this really soured us. Across the river is another casino named El Dorado. So we were able to get a room there, and it was pretty inexpensive. The room was great, had a walk-in shower, soak-in tub, everything, and this was basically our second favorite casino in Shreveport. It is on a boat, but not crowded like the Horseshoe or Sam's Town. We got to gamble, and I was actually up in craps, about $150. They have the all-tall, all-small, make-em-all. It pays 37 to 1 and then 175 to 1 for all. I hit the all small and had $3 on it. Only reason I played it was because the guy next to me had rolled and hit every number. That morning we left to drive to Biloxi, Mississippi. I'll give a call back later with another trip report from Beau Rivage. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, yeah, we'll hear from Chris again later. Now, are you sure that the conversation about Margaritaville that you heard today wasn't talking about the Shreveport location and how they don't honor reservations?
No.
You're sure?
I'm positive because I actually heard him say that it was in the Flamingo off to the side there.
Because I was thinking, boy, if you could back this one up, that'd be something.
It was not about Shreveport. But, seriously, in Shreveport, there's a curfew, 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and that's
everyone's
it.
got to be in bed at 7:30.
Oh.
So, that's why 8 o'clock's a strict cutoff.
Oh.
And, if there's some guy who needs a bed.
Well, then I can't blame him from doing it. Chris, I think you got your just desserts there. Isn't that a terrible story?
That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? At 8 o'clock?
Well, especially that he called. And we've talked about this so often. When you call somebody, are you really, we'll take care of that for you. Are they going to do anything? Or are they just trying to get rid of you?
Let me ask you this. How many times have we gotten to Vegas after, let's say, 10 o'clock at night?
Oh, after 10? Many, many times. I thought you were going to say like midnight.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of times. After midnight, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And our rooms are always there waiting for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I have sometimes not even told them. And you know what? Seriously, it's a casino, right? It would not be unreasonable to show up at a casino and just start gambling, which we've done. And then, we better go check in. It's 2 a.m.
That's right. I need to talk to a host. That's too bad. All right. Like I said,
that's a terrible story.
That is terrible.
And I wouldn't go back there if I was him.
No, I know. It's the kind of thing that would just sour you.
No,
It's too bad that he's had other good experiences
it's just
there. Yeah.
Poor customer service. Now, to be fair to them, I mean, maybe the guy's telling the truth. Maybe there were no rooms after that.
Come on. Remember the time years ago, Mike, we went to the Dunes.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this. You had a pretty good rating there. They knew that you were throwing around a little money, and we were at the hotel desk. And the person behind the counter kept saying to people, if the Queen of England showed up, we couldn't get her into a room, right? Do you remember that's exactly what they said?
The Queen of England couldn't get a room here tonight.
And then you asked for a room and, let me check. Okay, we've got a room for you, doctor. So, there are rooms there.
There's always rooms,
All right, let's hear from Hahn. He's got a trip report from Macau and Singapore.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Hahn from Chicago. I just want to give you a quick trip report. I just got back from Macau and Singapore about a week ago. I just want to say playing in Macau can be challenging if you have a modest bankroll, which is what I usually have. Anyway, I did play there at the MGM Cotai, which is the newest mega resort that's open on the Cotai Strip. I found some craps there, which is pretty cool because craps is not very prevalent in Macau. Anyway, I started playing. It's 200 Hong Kong dollars minimum, which works out to about $25.50 US. Match actually even hit a point on my roll, and I was kind of cooping and hollering, getting very excited, but then I got some strange looks from my fellow craps players. I think while I may have looked like my fellow craps players, my Americanness came through and I guess was not very appreciated. Anyway, that's fine. I left MGM Cotai with a couple of hundred Hong Kong dollars and headed over to Studio City, which is another mega resort on the southern part of the Cotai Strip, to start playing blackjack there in Macau. Blackjack it's a European-style blackjack there, which means that the dealer has no hole card, and they use continuous shuffling machines there. 300 Hong Kong dollars a hand, which is about $40 US. Again, I was able to hang in there. At one point, I had a 6 and 5, and the dealer had a 10. As basic strategy dictates, I doubled down and managed to draw a 10 to 21, but then, of course, the dealer drew an ace and then took half my bet, took my double down part, and that was pretty infuriating, but I guess that those are the rules in Macau. And anyway, I left there, tried to calm down. I rallied at the Venetian Macau, which is just a larger version of the mega resort in Vegas, and, I was happy to take Sheldon's money. The Singapore portion of my trip was not quite as fun. I would say there's only 2 resorts in Singapore, not that many. One's Marina Bay Sands, the other one's Resorts World Sentosa. Minimums there are more reasonable, 25 Singapore dollars, which is about 19, 20 US dollars. I was able to hang in there. I was playing pontoon, which is a variation of blackjack, but I think you can kind of, in a sense, surrender after you double down, and there's some other variations in the rules. I couldn't understand all of them, quite frankly, but I didn't play long. There were many other things to do in Singapore besides gamble. Just in closing, I just want to loop back to Macau and say I hope you guys can get over there. I think it's a marvelous, marvelous place. There is the new Morpheus Tower by the famous architect Zaha Hadid. It was like one of her last projects. It's about to go up. It is one of the most striking structures I've seen anywhere in the world, and I look forward to going back to Macau just to be able to stay in that tower. Wind Palace, of course, is still marvelous, and there's many, many other resorts across Cotai and, of course, the Macau Peninsula. I didn't have much time to get over there this time around, but I hope to get there when I'm back in Macau. As for Singapore, I don't think it's really worth visiting unless, you have other things to do in Singapore. If it's just for gambling, I don't think Singapore is worth it. But if you want to enjoy the infinity pool up top the Marina Bay Sands, just for that alone, I think it could be worth it. Anyway, take good care. I look forward to seeing you guys at 360 Vegas Vacation 6 and Zork Fest. All right, bye-bye.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll see Hahn there. Good, looking forward to that. On the last episode, we were talking about the culture of gambling over at Macau and how, they really take it seriously. And this is a good example. Even at the craps table, Hahn's ready to start whooping and hollering like we all do here. Like, well, that's uncalled for, sir. Yeah.
How would they deal with me?
Oh, they just kick you out as soon as you walk through the door.
Oh, man. I
turn around, sir. You don't belong here.
You can't be that loud. Take that stupid shirt off. Get out of here.
I probably told this story on the show before, but years back, I was playing poker at the Barona Poker Room out here. And, in poker, it's pretty serious. And you don't generally whoop it up because you're taking money from other players.
Right.
Well, anyway, we got into a situation where there was some all-ins, and it was clear that a bad beat jackpot could be hit. I can't remember exactly what. It was aces full beaten by 4 of a kind. I can't remember what exactly it was.
I think you told this story.
So the result of the hand, I think it was pretty much done. We knew who was going to win the hand. So that was all over. So it just came down to, are we going to win this bad beat jackpot? And when bad beat jackpots hit, it's not only the person who was bad beat and the person who beat them, everyone at the table gets a little bit of cut of it.
Right.
And so, the card's about to get turned over, and, I yell out, come on. And everybody, the whole room, everybody at the table, all the dealers just glared at me. And I'm thinking, well, but we're whooping it up. It's like out in the regular casino, but just the culture of the poker room, that was a faux pas on my part.
Yeah,
so,
that was not good. It's off subject here, but you always see those signs, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Mm-hmm, sure.
What about pants?
Well, that's a good point. It should include that. It's probably not a big problem. And so I think that's why they just don't put it there.
Yeah, but shouldn't the sign say no shirt, no pants, no shoes, no service?
I guess to be absolutely clear. But again, is that a big problem?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to test that at some casino.
I'm actually asking you, Mike, is that a big problem?
I don't know. I'm too tired.
All right. Hahn mentioned the game Pontoon. I will post a link to the Wizard of Odds page dealing with Pontoon. It's very similar to Spanish 21. Very similar with just a few different rules. So rather than go through it right here, I'll just post a link to that.
I like Pontoon better. You know how I like words.
Yeah, you like that better. Yeah.
I like Pontoon better than Spanish 21.
That's not interesting.
Yeah, no, Spanish 21. It's like Mexican standoff.
I guess.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't. Well, as far as a casino goes, I don't know. I can tell you what a Mexican standoff means, but as far as a casino goes, it should be a standoff. It's racist.
Yeah, it's racist. It's like Spanish 21.
I don't know if Spanish 21's racist, but maybe it is. I'll look into it a little bit more. Start sending letters to casinos. All right, Uncle G is up next.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Uncle G calling from the East Coast. And I just want to let you folks know that a lot of us are getting excited about your April visit out here to the Connecticut casinos. And you may have noticed in the news that we get, maybe a foot or two of snow every week lately. But I wanted to let you know that myself and my brother, Johnny Yo, have been keeping the tables hot in Connecticut.
Nice.
On each of our last 2 visits, I have rolled a 4-point fire bet. In addition, during our last visit, during the storm on Wednesday, I rolled a 4-point fire bet, and then a brand new player, under the coaching of Johnny Yo, rolled a 5-point fire bet. So don't let the cold and the snow deter you. We are keeping the tables hot. We're very excited for your upcoming trip. And we're also excited to tell you about our version of the 401g. It's a special gambling fund that I created back in 2014. It did win Gambler's Innovation of the Year for 2014. We're excited to tell you guys about it, get your feedback, and hopefully we can learn from each other. Again, this is Uncle G, Johnny Yo, and we believe Professor T is even going to leave Cambridge to come down and also bring some heat to the table. So look forward to meeting you folks soon. Thank you.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to this trip. Once again, GamblePalooza, April 20th and 21st, Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. We hope everybody joins us there. Looking forward to it.
20th and 21st?
Of April. Did I say it right? Yeah, 20th and 21st.
I thought there was the third day.
Well, okay, we're getting there the 19th Thursday.
Okay.
Friday is the 20th. Saturday is the 21st. We will be there all day on the 22nd, Sunday.
That's what I thought.
But I don't think that's an official days
right.
For it.
That's a rest day for us.
That's a rest day,
now,
right?
What's this 401g he's talking about?
Oh, I think he's teasing, but we'll have to find out. But if you remember the 401g, and I do think it was Ed O'Connor who originally talked about the 401g, where it's a special gambling fund that you just keep separate, a separate account.
Yeah, I know. I thought maybe there's something set up. The casino has a 401g fund for us.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Uncle G will tell us all about it in a few weeks.
It'd be nice if it was a craps table that just paid. That's like my dream.
That just what?
Just paid all the time.
You mean you just kept winning at a craps table?
Yeah, just kept winning. It's just never an out.
What is that? I wish I could fly. Yeah. I mean, what?
Yeah, well, that's my version of I wish I could fly.
Okay. All right, very good. Hey, our buddy Taylor's up next.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Dr. Taylor from New Mexico. I'm back in Vegas. I was here for a WAC tournament last weekend. I left on Sunday and I came back on Wednesday. This is my fifth year during the March Madness in Las Vegas. It is a great time to come to Vegas and just watch games and bet on the games and such. Two general tips for listeners in the future. One is to bring a sweatshirt that you're okay losing, because the seats at the bar tops and whatnot become more scarce during March Madness. So you can leave something while you go to the bathroom or whatever. But again, some people can be jerks, so you might want to use something that you're okay with losing. And two, there are 32 games in the first 2 days, and there are a lot of games that you don't care, but you want to care, so you bet on them. But if you bet $5 on every game, that kind of adds up a lot for low rollers. The app, I use the William Hill and the Station Casino app. They will let you bet for $2 minimum. Also, another great thing is if you do a round robin, say you pick 5 teams and do round robin of 2s, that's 10 combinations. It lets you bet the total of the round robin $2. So you can bet, if it's 10 combinations, you can bet 20 cents on each combination, and it'll book it on your app. For those games that you just don't care that much at all, but you want to watch it with some vested interest, that's been a good way to go. Rather than parlaying, which if you lose one of the first ones, then you don't care about the rest of it. Thank you, guys. I'll see you, and over the Memorial Day weekend, Tara will be there. Bye, guys.
All right, looking forward to it, Taylor.
I'd like to know where he called from.
I think a daycare center.
Yeah, that's right. What was going on in the background there? Caller, turn down your phone.
Yeah, it was just feedback from our show, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That was so weird.
That's great advice, though. So these apps, like the William Hill app and some of these other sportsbooks apps, you can use them legally if you are in Nevada when you're using them. You don't have to be a Nevada resident.
You just have to be in the state of Nevada.
In the state. So you could fly in from wherever. As soon as you land, you can pull up the app and start betting on sports there. As long as you have an account, you got to set up the account and everything. So that is good advice. You can't do it halfway between here and San Diego. Yeah, like Pai Gow, like the first half is, California rules. Second it's a good question. I don't know. Get on the Wi-Fi and just keep hitting the button until it starts working. Yeah. But that's good advice on a round robin. If you want to learn about round robin sports wagers, go back to our episode 82 entitled Are Casinos Thinking? ? And we talk about round robin betting on that.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with round robins.
No, it's just the name of the episode. You can hear why, it started as what are casinos thinking?
People are thinking, I'm not going to find out about round robins. Sounds like it's some casino trap.
It does make any sense to me. All right, let's hear back from Chris.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, this is Kristin Teller again. I'm calling with the second part of my trip report. We left Shreveport. We got into Biloxi on my birthday, Wednesday, March 14th, and we checked into Beau Rivage. It is really nice. My friend Alistair called it a mini Bellagio. Easily the nicest property in Biloxi. Our room was great and had a great view of Biloxi. The beaches in Biloxi are really clean and nice. The water isn't blue, and at this time of the year it was pretty cold, but it's still very nice. The property had a big swimming pool that is heated from March 1st to the end of November. Since Hurricane Katrina, they do not have the boats on the water anymore, but they need to be close to the water. You have to go through a sort of checkpoint to get into the casino. That night we ate at BR Prime, had a wonderful meal, and then we let the kids play in the arcade there. My oldest son, AJ, is 20, so we took our younger kids, Breck and Kara, to the arcade to play for a while so the adults could check out the casino. My father-in-law gave them each $20 to play. Of course, most of the games that they played was what I like to call the kids' gambling games. They'd put the money in and try to hit a bonus to win lots of tickets. Then they turn the tickets in for prizes. They told us all about the big jackpots they won and how they won so many tickets. This trip, I actually played a lot of slots. We did group pools and just all hung out together and played. I still broke off and played a lot of craps. Now, since this is an MGM property and they know they are the best property there, the gambling rules are not very good. For instance, they have the all-tall, all-small, make-em-all, but it pays 30 to 1 and 150 to 1, unlike Shreveport that does 37 to 1 and 175 to 1. Also, to play them, you have to pay at least a $5 chip on each one instead of just $1 or $2 in Shreveport. I did not see the rules for blackjack, but it would not surprise me if it was 6 to 5. The casino is really nice, though, and the tables are really good. Dealers were a lot of fun, and we're not begging for tips. On Friday, we left Biloxi to drive back to Texas. This time we took a small detour through New Orleans for beignets at Café Du Monde in the French Quarter. This is a good chance to show the kids a little bit of New Orleans. Afterwards, we drove back to Shreveport since I had 2 free buffets at Margaritaville and a little bit of free play. We ate at the buffet, and my wife, Julie, won $100 worth of free play. I played a couple of slots and hit a $250 jackpot on a Willy Wonka machine before we left Margaritaville. I really like Margaritaville, but what they did on my birthday with my whole family there will take a lot to get me to go back there. Anyways, love the show, and I will see you guys in May for Zorkfest and Vegas Vacation 6. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, that's nice. Everybody's coming. This is going to be quite a trip over Memorial Day. Yeah.
What machine would you call kids gambling? Now, think about this. One game you played as a kid, what would you call kids gambling?
Well, like in an arcade? Because, I mean, I'm thinking of skee-ball initially, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
although there's some skill involved there.
Yeah.
But that's what I think of as getting tickets out of.
That's kind of gambling, right?
Yeah. And whack-a-mole, I mean, that was a little after my time. But
what about the quarter machine where you drop in the quarter?
And it flips it up there, right? Like they used to have in casinos.
Right.
Yeah, they would have those for tokens. In fact, I think they still do.
Tokens. That was kids gambling.
That's really
you flip
gambling.
that in there, and then you're hoping to push out some more.
Yeah, that's really gambling.
That's really gambling. And I always thought that, even as a kid, I thought, oh, this is kind of, it was tokens. So you could put one token in and get 6 out or something. That's a gamble.
That's definitely
you can lose your token or get 6 more or 3 more.
Right, but they're the way they get around the law, right? It's just tokens, right?
Yeah, it's just tokens.
No cash value, right? It says right on there, right? No cash value.
No cash
value. You can use it for games.
No cash value, my what? No. There's cash value in that, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
All right, ready for Todd and Amanda?
Yep.
Here they are.
Here they are.
We love craps. Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Todd.
And Amanda from Minnesota with a trip report from Las Vegas last week.
Craps was good to both of us once again. I used the 30 for 20 M Life promotion at Mandalay Bay and cashed out $62 for my $20 investment. Other than that, we only played craps at Golden Gate downtown because Excalibur did not have a $5 table 2 of the 3 times we went there.
And when I did see a $5 table, it was so packed. There was no chance to get on. Golden Gate was a lot of fun. The energy was just so fun there. Plus, one dealer overpaid me by $5. Cha-ching.
Yes.
I was also teaching 2 new players who hadn't played before. I know their father who gave them my book, and after they played with us and won, they're hooked. I had one nice roll at Golden Gate. I made 4 points, I think, and a bunch of 6s and 8s. Definitely solidified an overall profit for the week.
I also found at Cosmopolitan, of all places, a 9 to 5 jacks or better penny machine. It was a 100-play machine, but you have to select the 2-cent denomination, not the 1-cent denomination, because then the pay table drops. But 95 for a 2-penny machine I thought was really good odds for Cosmo, a luxury strip hotel. Usually it's 7.5 or 6.5 for pennies.
I played $15 Pai Gow at the Cromwell. I had an excellent dealer, cashed out a decent profit. I searched several casinos around Cromwell and couldn't find anything less than a $15 table. Downtown, however, had plenty of $10 Pai Gow tables. I also taught my new craps buddies Pai Gow, and they didn't have luck winning, but seemed to enjoy it. Fremont has $10 no commission tables with the queen high dealer push rule. Fremont also has some good blackjack tables, but beware they have both 3-2 and 6-5, so make sure you pay attention. I played a double-deck pitch game, 3-2, $5 minimum, and the dealer could not catch a hand. She busted a ton, and I had probably my most successful blackjack session ever, which isn't saying a whole lot because I don't play it too often.
I also have a new name for the bet I often make. Overheard at the Bubble Craps machine. This girl next to me clearly hasn't played much before, but she was having a good time and winning. After her boyfriend made his point, she told him to make sure and bet on the pass lane.
We also watched a high roller lose everything he had in front of him. I don't know what he started with, but he was betting $9,000 to $10,000 on the pass line, $20,000 to $30,000 in odds, a few thousand on a couple of the numbers. His biggest bet that I saw was over $40,000, and when the dice showed up a 7, Amanda can attest to this, I actually lost a breath and had to take a step back. He wasn't making stupid bets or anything, but the dice definitely weren't his friends.
I think that's about all for now. We love your show and look forward to playing you at Vegas Vacation 6.
Bye.
Everybody's going to be there.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to be there. Oh, my gosh. This deal that Todd is talking about, he was the first one to mention this to us way back when.
Right.
But if you go to the M-Life promotion desk at Mandalay Bay, you ask for, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but he called it the 30 for 20 promotion. And basically, you pay $20 and they give you $30 in free play, along with some basic strategy wheels and things like that.
Right.
And then you can take these chips to the table, and they're chips that stay out there until they lose. So, they can just keep winning. So that's a pretty good
promo.
deal. Yeah,
it's a great deal.
Yeah,
especially since they stay out there.
Yes, exactly.
So if you catch a hand or something.
Yep. All right. So we asked for a report from the new Resorts World Catskills, and we got one. Here we go.
Hi, guys. Just wanted to say I was out Resorts World Catskills today. Nice place. Approached the craps tables, and actually only one table was open, and it was jammed. I couldn't get near it. So I played high-limit slots, walked around. Kind of nice casino. It was kind of impressive. Still under a lot of construction, though. I did very well. I think the payback percentages are pretty good. Resorts World in Queens has, I think, the highest payback percentage in the United States. I didn't get a player's card, and the reason I didn't was that the place was packed. I mean, I wasn't going to wait online for 2 hours to get a player's card. And finally was approached in the high limit room at the end of the day, naturally, by a host who offered to get me one, and he did. I think I'll be back. The hotel looks good, but again, I think it's got about a year in front of it before it's really in shape. But nice place, very nice place. Also, the player's card from Queens, Aqueduct Racino, is not linked as of yet to Resorts World Catskills, which was very disappointing because I do go to Queens quite often. It's close to the house. And again, the payback percentages there are amazing. I basically go there for bubble craps, which I do pretty well on, and high limit slots. So in Queens, the paybacks are great, but the place is a mess. I don't recommend it. It's just not a pleasant atmosphere. Anyway, thank you guys. You guys are the best. I really enjoy the show. I look forward to each new episode. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, good. Sounds like it's a nice place and it's getting some business.
Yeah, so. and probably the construction will, get cleared up.
And that's not unusual. It's a good thing. Yeah, good.
He sounds like me, though. I'm laughing because I'm not waiting for that player's card. That'd be me, exactly. Just go to your table.
Well, especially if you're doing a table game, all you have to do is say, hey, give me a card.
Give me a card.
It's a little harder when you're playing slots. You have to flag somebody down.
You'd have to go see a host or something.
But I'm the same way, too.
Yeah,
it's like,
oh, God.
Sometimes we will do it if it's a new place because because maybe they have some sign-up offer.
Right. If the offer
free play or something.
If the offer
like that.
was good enough, I might.
Yeah,
but I'm not. Now 2 hours for that? That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Everybody's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear from Stan.
Hey guys, great show. Thank you very much. This is Stan from Maine calling. A quick check-in for the 2 casinos here. We have Bangor and Oxford. Oxford's actually a little bit bigger. It's taken off pretty big. The one in Bangor was the first one, and then Oxford came in a few years later, and Oxford really has taken off. No special bets on craps or anything, but on blackjack they do have one of the side bets. But other than that, pretty straightforward. Also, I took my brother down to the casino down in Connecticut for a concert. He's never gambled before. And as we do with everyone, when you're talking to him about craps for the first time, you're telling him how easy it is. You know, you get a point, you need to shoot that before a 7, da-da-da-da-da. Well, we get there, and forgot the most important rule of all. The dealer hit a 9 to come out on, and my brother just looks and says, okay, so now the object is to get a 9 before the 7, right? Holy smokes, everyone just about passed out. And at that point, the dice were about in midair, and of course, the 9 hits, and everyone wins. And so, holy smokes, I can't believe I've actually forgot to tell him the most important rule of all, never to say that word. And then lastly, coming out to Vegas with my better half on Kentucky Derby weekend. We're staying through Wednesday at Caesars. And one thing I'm worried about, because she's never been out there and want her to have a good time, is what's the deal with smoke-free casinos? Are there any that are better than others for that? That's one thing I know she's going to hate. And my goal is, of course, to have her come out again in the future. So any advice you have on smoke-free casinos in the Vegas area would be wonderful. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.
What did you do today at the table?
Yeah,
Tell them what you did.
I said 7.
You said 7, and Sherry, the pit boss, looked at you like, oh my God, I can't believe you actually did that. You're laughing it off like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And then what happened?
Immediate 7.
Yeah, it was a 7. Right,
yeah, but the point was 5. It wasn't 5. Chances of making it slim. 9, I could have said that it's a natural right bet.
Well, that's why Stan was lucky, because it was the natural right back number. So you say 7, well, 9's it's the natural right back. It's going to come up. They were lucky. That was the point.
We should start a campaign to get people who listen to us to talk about 9 being the natural right back.
The natural right back number.
And then see if anyone ever, what the hell does that mean?
what is the difference? Natural? What do you mean? Like mathematically? That's not natural. I don't understand. Hey, maybe we should go up to some of those Maine casinos while we're out there for GamblePalooza.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a 4-hour drive to Oxford.
I want to go to Maine so bad.
You do?
Ask Lynn. It's my life dream.
Why is that?
I see it on the travel shows on TV.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Well, I'm sure it is.
I mean, it looks like a beautiful state.
Yeah.
And it's the furthest you can go and still be in the United States.
Right.
Besides Hawaii
like,
and Alaska.
Sure, of course.
So in the continental United States, I mean, that's the place to go, Maine. I'm going to go right up to the tip of Maine.
We're going to be pretty close there.
Yeah, we're going to be very close. I just want to get my foot in Maine.
All right. As far as non-smoking casinos in Vegas, you're not going to find a completely non-smoking casino.
Not completely.
Certainly on the Strip or downtown.
Right.
Many of them have non-smoking sections, some of which are better than others. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a farce.
If it's a closed area, then like poker rooms. Poker rooms now are typically non-smoking.
Right.
So and a lot of sports books are too. So maybe they're kind of cleared off. But you're not.
I think your best bet is to go to a casino that has high ceiling, some place like Bellagio or Venetian, one of these high ceiling casinos where there's a lot of room and it's open. Because then even if they're smoking, it doesn't seem quite as bad.
And maybe some of the newer casinos, which I would put Venetian in. I mean, you can't really call it new now, but it's one of the newer ones because maybe their ventilation system is better and they're getting the smoke out of there more.
You go down to like Golden Gate. I mean, you can almost jump and touch the ceiling. The Four Queens, places like that. They're very cramped and crowded. We like those places, but they're smoky.
Yeah. And smoking is still a big part of gambling and casinos. So,
and then you'll have to look, even if you're in a big casino, you'll have to go look for a place to play where somebody's not smoking near you.
Well, that's what it really comes down to. These non-smoking areas, they're within the casino where there's still smoke, but at least if you really don't like smoking, you're not going to have somebody sitting right next to you smoking, and blowing smoke.
And it Seems like a lot of casinos now. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are quite a few casinos that will have a non-smoking craps table.
Yes, but again, like they have it at Harrah's, right? Yeah. It's still within the smoke of the casino. Right. It's just you won't have somebody right next to you.
Right next to you blowing smoke at you. Right, they even had one in Southern Indiana. One of the tables was designated non-smoking. They had the signs up there, which is nice. I mean, the table behind you, they're smoking like crazy. Yeah. But at least there's nobody like puffing on you.
Right. Stan, you said you're staying at Caesar's Palace. I don't think they have a non-smoking area. Maybe I'm talking about the regular casino games, not the poker room or anything like that. Maybe they do, but I think you're going to have to hit some of the casinos around there. I think Bellagio actually does have a fairly large non-smoking area that is maybe nebulous. It might change depending on, the people that are around, but that might be your best bet. A newer place, high ceilings. And that's right across the street from Caesar's. So that might work for you.
Caesar's probably wouldn't work out so well. Maybe over the part by the Forum Shops.
Yeah.
It's a little less maybe, but boy, that main casino area, that's pretty smoky.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear from Kelly.
Hey guys, it's Kelly from Utah. Wanted to call and let you know that I thought that episode where you said the audio got messed up was great. It was funny, and if you had never said anything about the audio, I wouldn't have even noticed, and I would have just thought it was a slightly shorter episode than usual. So no worries. I was also wondering if you guys have ever had a run that was so bad of gambling. Did you ever just get disgusted and decide you need a break sometimes? Because it seems like you pretty consistently go every week and play craps or, take your trips to wherever, like Vegas. I myself have gotten kind of disgusted and had to take a break of 3 or 4 months where I just didn't even want to set foot in a casino. So just wondering. Dr. Mike likes a good casino name, I know, and I heard a couple recently that I thought Dr. Mike would like. One was Kickapoo, and my personal favorite is Shumash in California. I've never been, but I love that name. And the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I remember Mark, your sister-in-law, talking about playing the machines and hitting her jackpots and kind of kidding around about getting a feeling on the machine. And I recently went to my local casino and played this one slot machine that I've played off and on for years. And they have a progressive on there that starts at $150. And it got up to about $370, which is very unusual to be $200 over what it starts at. And so I thought, well, I'm going to play it because that's unusual. And so I did. And long story short, I hit it. And like Elle was talking when you interviewed her, I just felt like a genius. I thought I was brilliant because I knew that progressive was higher than usual. And of course, I hit it. So just wanted to share those thoughts. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, first of all, I don't think Elle was kidding about getting that feeling.
Not at all.
We were ribbing her about it.
Yeah, but she was not kidding.
No, I don't think she was. And so, Kelly, as far as you finding this machine, I think this was smart. This might have actually been positive EV.
Right.
Because you're finding a jackpot, a progressive, that's significantly larger than you've seen before.
Right.
So it could very well have been a positive EV, and it might not have had any effect on whether you'd win the jackpot or not. Or maybe it did. Maybe it's one of those must-hit-by machines, that get to a certain level.
And they've got a hit.
So that is the kind of thing that you want to look for on a progressive jackpot for a slot. I think you did Professor Slots proud by playing that machine. So that was probably a good move.
Yeah, that was. I was thinking the same thing. Now, have you ever stopped after a particularly bad gambling?
Yes, we have. Now, the thing is, all right, Mike and I, we've got a podcast about recreational gambling. All right. So we really enjoy it. So when we take a break, it might be 1 week we don't go to the casino.
Right. It's usually a week, few days.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's no question. I mean, we've talked about it where, okay, we've really got to take a break.
Well, we talk about that every week on the way home. Now that's it. I am not going next week. We're staying away. And then, Thursday comes and it's like, oh gosh, only 2 more days.
But there have been times where we have taken a break. And we mentioned on previous shows too, these cold streaks come and you better be prepared because it's going to be way colder than you could have imagined.
Right.
If you play enough, it's going to come.
And taking a break is a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
It's a good thing mentally. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing for your pocketbook.
Yep.
I like Kickapoo.
I knew you'd love Kickapoo.
I love Kickapoo. Yeah. We have a multi-poo.
Oh, that's right.
Our
Yeah,
dog.
your little dog. Yeah.
I'm going to tell the girls when we get home, we're going to change her name to Kickapoo.
Oh, I hope that doesn't involve an animal cruelty or anything.
No, we're just going to kick her poo around the yard.
Oh, okay. Kicking the poo. That's no problem.
Shumash is good too. I like Shumash.
That's right. That's good names. I know you love those.
Why are these casinos named like this?
Well, a lot of it is from Native American names, right? So that's
Kickapoo? I guess that is.
Maybe that could be. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's some Indian with some weird sense of humor.
Maybe. Or maybe it's, part of their culture and you should respect it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Next up is Eric.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Eric from Indianapolis. I had a quick story I thought you two might get a kick out of. A couple of years ago when my wife were getting ready to go to Vegas, she told me she wanted to play craps and she wanted to learn how to play. So I bought a craps layout off of Amazon and I had my poker chips. And a couple of weeks leading up to the trip, I taught her how to play craps, just kind of your basic bet. And in the process of doing it, ended up teaching my two sons, who were 8 and 10 years old at the time, how to play as well.
Excellent.
We went to Vegas, had a good time. She had a great time playing. Well, we're getting ready to go again here first week of April. And she wanted to practice because she hasn't played since then. So I got the layout back out, got the chips back out. And my oldest son, who's now 12, was walking by, and he said, I want to play too. So I gave him some chips, and we were playing like it was a $5 table. And the only thing I had ever taught them previously was just pass line with odds, come bets, and place bets. And we were playing for a few minutes, and then my 12-year-old started asking about the center bet. And I said, well, we stay away from those bets. Those aren't good odds. But he was pretty insistent, and I thought, well, I'll teach him a lesson. So I taught him hard ways bets and how they work. And I said, you can bet $1 on each one of these, and I taught him how they win and when they lose, and I thought maybe he'll see how quickly money can disappear when you play these. So he puts $1 on each of them, and of course about 2 rolls later, hard 6 hits, and he said, oh great, what happens? And I said, well, I can give you $9, you can take this bet back, and then you have $9. And he said, well, what else can I do? I said, well, you can do what's called parlaying, and you can put it all on there, and then if it hits again, you get $90. And he said, well, I want to do that. So he puts his chips on there. I thought, well, he'll see how fast these goes away. Well, of course, hard 6 hits again. And he keeps playing them. And in the course of about a half an hour, he ends up making what would have been about $300 betting hard ways. He was just hitting them over and over again. So in the process of trying to teach him to be a responsible, somewhat conservative gambler, I was afraid I'd actually created another Dr. Mike.
That's shameful.
But he restored my faith the next day. My wife and I were practicing blackjack. She wanted to play blackjack, and I have a shoe, and so I was dealing it to her. And 12-year-old walks by again, and he wants to play because he knows basic strategy because we're phenomenal parents. But instead of getting him chips, I gave him jelly beans. We had bought a bag of jelly beans that he asked for, and I gave him 40. And I said, you can have all of these, and you can bet, and you can win more, but whatever you lose, I'm not giving you back. Well, he tightened up in a hurry after that. Just bet one jelly bean at a time, never increased his bet. So when he has something at stake, he's a little more responsible. Thought you guys might enjoy that. Love the show. Thanks. Bye.
Good. So ultimately, Eric taught his son that candy is more important than gambling. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, I guess I don't either. But
yeah,
seriously, Eric and his wife, parents of the year. Seriously, teaching their kids to, to respect money through gambling, especially craps, and then, in teaching them how to be conservative with it by making it candy instead of chips. Parents of the year.
All right, parents of the year.
Yeah, well, seriously, I don't know why I'm not doing that. My kids, I'm a failure. Sorry.
Really?
Sorry to my children.
Aren't you constantly teaching your kids how to play various casino games?
Yeah,
it seems like you're constantly doing that.
I am teaching them, but, I'm not going at it hardcore enough like Eric to actually sit down and make them win stuff.
All right. Well, we're already in March, so maybe that'll be a good New Year's resolution for you next year.
Seriously, I got to get on that. It's a few years. They're going to be old enough to gamble.
I'll try to remind you in January. All right. A final call from Ryan.
Hey guys, it's Ryan from Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh man, what a NCAA tournament this has been. I've been down every day. I go to the sports book every day, whether it's tournament time or not. Perks of living in Las Vegas, but also the curse of living in Las Vegas. I have a casino that's maybe 2.5 miles away, if that. Yeah, I go over there. I do sports bets all the time. I do little parlays, and the first Friday of the tournament, I made a 18 parlay for $200, moneyline parlay, and all was well until the big crash of Virginia Never happened before. Number 1 seed losing to number 16 UMBC. Never happened in the history of basketball. So I bet $200 on a money line parlay. Last game of the night was Virginia. All I needed them to do was win to collect $6,800. Well, we all know how that went. I actually ended up making money on the bet, which was good because I'm pretty good friends with the main guy at the sports book. I went to go tell him, look, man, all I got to do is get Virginia to win this game. And he says, yeah, but who knows? I mean, make or lose. I said, it's never happened before. They're not going to lose. And he said, you never know. Every year is different. So I put $50 straight up. I hedged the bet. I put $50 straight up on UMBC money line to beat Virginia. They did, and I collected $1,000 because it was plus 2,000, which is basically 20 to 1 odds. I still collected $1,000 on a $200 bet plus my $50 hedge bet. So it all ended up working well. My team's actually Kansas, so luckily we're in the Final Four here, so we'll see how it goes Saturday, but wearing my Kansas stuff to the sports book every day, and everyone's told me since round 2 that they were going to lose even though they were number 1 seed. I love proving them wrong. Well, anyways, I hope you guys are having fun out there. Good luck to you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I don't know how much more we can say about the tournament. It's been a great tournament as always.
Tournament. What did I tell? I hate to say this to you, Ryan, but what did I tell you, Mark, which team's going to win?
I don't remember.
I told you right at the beginning, Villanova.
You did say Villanova? I think I remember that now.
Right at the beginning. I said Villanova wins this
there.
tournament.
All right.
It's going to be Villanova or Kansas, I think.
You think so? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good guess.
They're going to play each other, and one of them's going to have to play Michigan. And I think so. Whoever wins that game probably wins the tournament.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
It's just been so much fun. And it's not just the upsets that have made it fun. It's the fact that some of these upsets have been so lopsided.
Right.
A lot of times upsets come down to, buzzer beaters.
Right. Some guy throws it at half court and makes it.
Yeah.
I mean, Virginia got spanked.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
it really is
spanked.
astounding.
It's astounding. I mean, did everyone on that team have the flu?
Gosh.
And Ryan, credit to him for making
the bet. Yeah.
You would have told me that. I said, are you kidding? Why would I want to lose $50?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Yeah. There's no way they lose that game.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I don't know. But a great tournament as always. We just want to remind everybody, Zorkfest coming up on May 25th through the 27th. Use promo code ZORKBET to get $10 off your tickets. Don't forget there's a charity craps tournament as part of Zorkfest on Friday night at 10 p.m. And also, we will be a part of Podcasters After Dark on that Saturday night at 10 p.m. along with Fanboy and Scott from Vital Vegas.
I don't know what to think about Podcasters After Dark.
What?
Usually on the pay channels on my TV when it says After Dark, it's some kind of,
maybe we should duck out of this. Maybe what have we signed up for?
I know. I don't think anyone wants to see us.
And of course, everybody from Vegas Confessions are going to be emceeing that.
There you go.
And don't forget, also, right after Zorkfest, 360 Vegas Vacation 6 starts immediately. So it's going to be quite a weekend. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, Brian for his recurring donation. Thanks very much. Also from Richard, he says, only found your show a few weeks ago, but already listened to loads of your podcasts. Getting me excited for a trip to Vegas next week. Don't get there often living in London. Thanks for the entertainment, Richard from London. And hey, Richard, if you live in London, hopefully you're listening to the Vegas Bun Boy podcast.
Right.
Because he's from England and he is going to have Bun Fest 2018 in central London on Saturday, July 21st. The first annual, I don't know how often it's going to be, but Bun Fest. In central London. So listen.
Are we going to that?
Probably not.
Okay.
But listen to the Vegas Bun Boy podcast as he has some more details. And finally, from Adam, a PayPal donation, he said, looking for some karma for my 30th birthday trip, March 30th through April 2nd. Someday I'll make the long trip from Pasadena to throw some dice with y'all at Harrah's.
Hey,
promise. That's not that far from Pasadena. Come on down.
Come on down. We'll make it worth your while.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Mark will buy well drinks.
Sure, why not? Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program that searches through all the raw American TV data. Just go to youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review on us. We love getting your feedback.
I didn't tell you this today.
Okay.
But we were playing, and I was thinking to myself, from now on, I got to have some kind of signature dice move. Some kind
when
of,
you throw it?
Yeah, when I throw it.
Okay.
I'm always changing. I do something different every time. I need to come up with a signature thing. And there was a guy the other night, and every time he'd pick the dice up and he'd look at him and he'd say something to him.
Okay.
But it's under his breath, so I
So
never
you couldn't
really
hear it.
knew what he
I love
said.
you so much.
Yeah.
I love you.
I don't know what he was saying,
Right.
but he'd pick him up and he'd hold him in his hands, kind of like he's making his cross, like he's got his 3 fingers, he's going to
okay.
cross himself.
Right.
And he'd hold the dice up and he'd say something to him real softly, and then he'd, boom, throw him down the table.
All right. So
I thought maybe I should do that.
So exactly that, or something like that, or
something like
what are you going
that.
to say?
That's it. What am I going to say? I'm up for suggestions.
Oh, all right. So contact us, either email or tweet or whatever, and then say what should Mike whisper to the dice before he throws them?
I mean, I don't want it to be anything long and involved, but I want something short and sweet that'll let the dice know that I really care about them.
Yeah. Okay.
As dice.
Yeah. Okay.
And that they need to come through for me.
Oh, one thing. I hate to cut you off. Are you done?
No. I got one more thing to say.
Okay, go ahead. And then
this will be how I throw dice when it really is dice. Because if it's cards, I'm just going to tell the dice you're useless.
Okay, all right.
Talk to the cards.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. I forgot, before our next episode, you're going to Vegas. You're going to be there on Saturday, April 7th for a very quick trip, correct?
Very quick, one day.
You're
I'm
getting
fly in Saturday morning.
Okay.
I get there early, 9 in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave Sunday early.
Sunday morning. Okay, and you're staying at Harrah's?
Staying at Harrah's.
Okay, so you probably spend a lot of time there. So if you want to catch up with Dr. Mike.
I'll spend most of my time at Harrah's or Planet Hollywood.
Oh, okay, go down there.
Yeah.
I bet you'll get over to Caesars too.
I
You got to check out that new field bet too that we heard
that's
about last
right.
time.
Yeah, I may
may
go over to Caesars and and maybe even Flamingo somewhere
Okay.
around.
All
But
right.
I'll be in that general area.
Okay, and I'll tweet on your behalf. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, thanks for listening.
Good night.
Mark, that was wonderful. I had no idea you were so talented. The audience is going to love you.